9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. And liftoff.
M1D chamber pressure is nominal. Vehicle is pitching downrange.
We are T plus 37 seconds into the mission. Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Launch Complex 39A, carrying our 53 Starlink satellites into space.
Power and telemetry nominal.
Moments ago, we began to throttle down the engines on the first stage in preparation for an event known as Max Q. This is where the vehicle will experience the highest amount of aerodynamic pressures.
Falcon 9 is supersonic. Max Q.
Awesome. Now that Max Q is behind us, we are throttling the engines back up to full power. Coming up are a series of events happening in quick succession. First is MECO, also known as main engine cutoff. This is where all 9 Merlin engines on the first stage will shut off to slow the vehicle down in preparation for the next milestone, which is stage separation. During this event, both the first and second stages will separate from one another. The first stage will make its way back to our drone ship, and the second stage will continue its journey with second engine startup, or SES1. During this event, the single Merlin vacuum engine on the second stage will light up and propel the second stage along with the Starlink satellites into orbit. And then shortly after SES1, we'll have the fairing halves deploy and expose our Starlink satellites to the vacuum of space. First of those events is expected to happen in a few seconds here.
MECO.
Stage separation confirmed.
All right, so as you just saw and heard, we successfully had main engine cutoff, stage separation. The second stage Merlin vacuum engine you see on the right-hand side of the screen has successfully started up, and we saw the 2 fairing halves deploy. So while the second stage is doing its job, the first stage is coming back home to Earth. That is what you see on the left-hand side of the screen. It needs to execute 2 burns before its 13th landing attempt on our drone ship. The first burn is called the entry burn. This is a 3-engine burn that helps slow down the first stage before hitting the denser parts of the Earth's atmosphere. And then the second burn is called the landing burn. This is a single engine burn that brings the vehicle speed down rapidly in order to land on our drone ship a short fall of gravitas. We still have about 2 minutes left before the first stage entry burn. Again, the first of 2 burns for the first stage. For now, we are just enjoying some great views of both the first stage returning back to Earth and the second stage making its way to space, makes its way into orbit.
Both following nominal trajectories.
And I just heard the call out that we are in nominal trajectory, so things again, continuing to go smoothly for today's Starlink mission.
Stage 1 FDS has saved.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
So on screen, we have started the entry burn. This burn is expected to last for about 20 seconds. Earlier, we saw the vehicle on the pad, and the first stage was basically covered in soot.
Stage 1 entry burn shut down.
This is the reason why. So basically, during the entry and landing burn, the vehicle is flying through its own plume of smoke, and that is what
Both
builds up the
vehicles
soot.
continue to follow nominal trajectories.
So landing burn for the first stage is coming up in about a minute, and shortly after the landing burn ends, we're going to be listening for a call out that's related to the second stage, known as SECO. That stands for Second Engine Cutoff, and we'll be shutting off the Merlin vacuum engine that you see on screen, and we'll be waiting for another call out related to the second stage of a good orbital insertion.
Stage 1 transonic. Stage 2 is in terminal guidance. Stage 1 landing burn.
Stage 2 FDS has saved.
So our landing burn has begun. It's a single engine burn. This is also the period where we'll deploy our landing legs, and here
Stage
comes
1 landing leg
our
deploy.
first stage for the 13th time attempting to land on our drone ship.
Stage 1 landing confirmed.
And X marks the spot for the 13th time. That is the first time that we have flown and landed a booster 13 times.
Acquisition of signal Newfoundland. Nominal orbit insertion.
We're not done launching rockets just yet. Stay tuned for the SR1 mission scheduled to launch from Vandenberg Space Force Base at 7:20 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow. Launch coverage will begin about 10 minutes before launch, less than 24 hours from now. Thanks, and we'll see you all very soon.